All right, I think I've got everything. Got a lot of gadgets here. Cool. So I want to say thank you, Trish and Reza, for the opportunity, to be able to present to you guys. I also, incidentally, I want to say I have a referral for you, marketing referral. It's a family friend. I felt like it's better that she kind of works with another marketer that's, not necessarily as close, and I think that's just better that way. So definitely I'll. Exactly. I prefer not to. Right. So definitely, looking forward to having a one-on-one with you and collaborate. Absolutely. So looking forward. Thank you. So I run my own marketing agency. I'm the founder of Social Booster Marketing, just like Serena, right? Did I say right? Okay. Just like Serena, we also do digital marketing and things like that. And obviously, AI has become a big part of technology in the online world, the virtual digital world, as we all know. And so, with that said, AI is something that we can't turn a blind eye on. Like we definitely have to address it and see how we can empower ourselves so that we can, improve the quality of our lifestyle and of, just the day-to-day interactions and pretty much maximize our time. But not just maximize our time, as we know, it's all related. Time and money. There's three different currencies, I would say. There's time, money, and then there's energy also. There's a lot of energy being spent, even answering everybody on a text message on a whim here and there, and days do fly by very quickly. So how do we buy back our time? That's the question. How do we buy back our time? How do we lower our costs and our overhead, and at the same time be even more efficient while doing less, right? So, for example, there's a lot of things in general that we do on a daily basis that we can get it done without doing it. And that's the whole idea, right? So as lawyers, of course, whether you're a law firm owner or just a lawyer associate or whatever your position is, right? At the end of the day, you have a lot of tasks at hand every single day that can be automated, and it can learn you. You can create your own assistant, and think about it like another human being assistant coming in, learning about you, understanding about your tasks, the way you do things, and customizing it based on how you do things. Now you've got a 24/7 on point, somebody who's an assistant that never calls in late, never gets sick, no time off, no vacations, maybe staycations, but they're always ready, right? And then at the same time, you have things automated and systemized. So it's becoming a lot cheaper and a lot more advanced as we continue moving forward into technology. So it's, a lot of people say it's scary, and I agree, it is scary. But I think if it wasn't scary, it wouldn't be significant enough. I think there's a little bit of just a familiarity that we have to understand, because in general, in the world of marketing, in the world of, human psychology, really, we're all afraid of the unknown. So if we don't know it and tackle it and, empower ourselves and learn how to use it to the best of our ability, we'll always be scared about it. But if we, learn and understand it, and we know how it can benefit us, now we're not going to be scared anymore. We're going to be maybe scared about all the positive things that we can accomplish as a result, right? So with that said, I'm going to just jump in, try not to bore you a little over here. I'm going to give you some basic ideas, really to get your, get started in thinking about, okay, these are all the things that I do every day on a practical basis. How can I better improve my processes, save myself time, save myself money? So I'm going to go right over here. This is actually a post I made on the circle. I was talking about, came prepared here, right? Yeah, I was just talking about how like small little steps actually are the building blocks of your empire. So you take one small little step, trust me, before you know it, it continues to improve from there. So you just gotta, plant the seed, keep on watering it, and then eventually you're gonna have a much better system in place that does a lot more work for you, does a lot more, I guess, spends the energy that you would have spent for you, and now you're so much more relaxed while getting even more done than if you had done it yourself. So with that said, I keep on going to that side, but gotta stay here. So I'll go into the slides. So this is pretty funny. I use ChatGPT, made me look even better, maybe. I don't know. I like that smile. I'm definitely gonna use that. I'll show it to my dentist. But this is the real me. Right. Okay, so I'm gonna just find my way down here. Okay, file, view, slideshow. Okay. See that smile? Love it. All right. So that's me and social booster marketing. And here we go. So five free AI tools every lawyer should use. Now, these are free tools, and these are one of many. There are many tools that function and do the same thing. So these aren't necessarily, the best of tools, but I think it does come down to preference. A lot of these tools can be the best one. It just depends on you, how you feel, and how if you like the overall functionality. So with that said, I'll go on to the next. So why AI matters for lawyers today. You can reduce repetitive tasks that you don't have to do anymore, and it can do it intelligently. It's not just automation, but it's automation with intelligence. So for example, I had a recent experience that I once had mentioned in my other presentation, that I was reaching out to a bunch of lawyers, people that I know, and one lawyer reached out and said, "Oh, honey, I'm so sorry, I won't be able to make it next week. Maybe in a couple of weeks, I'm going into surgery, and I just don't have time, and I'm going to need to recover a little bit. Like, let's take it one step at a time." And the AI, the way it responded with such like emotional intelligence, was really nice. And thank God, it went really nice. But that was something that I also continued to use that information and basically reaffirm, just like to a child, when you reward them for doing the right thing. Same idea, you're letting them know, hey, that was a good answer, keep it going, making sure that you're respectful. And so that was pretty cool. But it literally did that on its own, and it was pretty awesome. So
wasn't your AI chatting with their AI at one point?
right. So Reza knows that story too, about how I was speaking with a customer, and I know how they speak. I know their level of, I guess, precision when they speak. And I'm not going to say intelligence. They're really smart for sure. But they many times outsmart me. But he emailed me, and I was like, okay, wait a second. I need to step back. Like, hold on a second. That's not you, right? And so I had to make sure that I can meet to that level of intelligence too. And so I use my own AI too. And I guess it was AI against AI. And then thank God I came out on the other side, happy. But I definitely needed someone who was smarter than me in the office to like handle that for me. Hey, that's a tough customer. And thankfully it all worked out. We were all happy. But sometimes you realize that you are at a disadvantage significantly if somebody is having some kind of unfair advantage over you. So you have no choice pretty much except to kind of improve yourself as well. And that's just business in general. 20 years ago, I don't know, 20, 30 years ago, not everybody really cared so much about websites. Eventually that became something like, oh, obviously, yeah, how much does it cost? Okay, great, let's do it. Like nobody even thinks about that anymore. Now everybody's like, yeah, maybe not, I'm scared, this and that with AI. But believe it or not, AI is definitely being adapted a lot faster than the internet when it came out. So reducing repetitive tasks, save hours weekly on document management, research, and communication, deliver faster and better service to clients, stay competitive in a rapidly evolving legal landscape. So here are some ideas to get you thinking. The ChatGPT account is absolutely free. You get, I think, the 3.5 version, which is pretty cool because as we continue to advance, and on the paid version, there's a $20 a month paid version for like the 4.5. Tell me about it. If you use it, not if you pay for it, right? That's a difference, right? Knowledge is power, but applied knowledge is even more powerful. So like make sure you actually put the rubber to the road and actually use it. Think about, okay, what's one thing I can just start with? It may not feel significant, but the second you do that, you're going to open up your eyes to realize, wow, there is so much I don't have to do anymore. And as lawyers, we're thinking a lot every day. Everything is calculated. Everything is being analyzed. So the more you can save that, you can maybe have more energy when you come back home, right? So this is really, really useful and helpful. So I think it, so far, does it sound like it may improve the way you live your life? I mean, I would think so, right? So, um, drafting emails, legal memos. I'm sorry.
Every 10 minutes you cut out the task counts.
Right, right, and they can add up, right?
Yeah, like we actually were looking up so we were doing. I don't use ChatGPT, but I need to.
Uh-huh.
But anyways, and this is Trisha over here, my counterpart, is way smarter than me. So I was like, okay, these are gonna be the topics that we're gonna do in our group. So I'm like writing out like everything I think about, like all the topics. And she's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, here's my list. I just got it from ChatGPT. I'm like, cool. So she
Could you
sends me,
believe
like,
it?
50. I'm here like writing down each one of my thoughts. She's like, yeah, here you go. Just my whole typed up list that I got from ChatGPT. I'm like, okay, cool.
But if you have ChatGPT, you could have dictated to it and been like, "Oh," and you start giving it ideas, and then it starts
No.
to learn you.
I legit went on the phone with her and was telling her each one of my ideas. I was like writing
Right.
each. I was like, wait, I can't write that fast. So she's like, oh, here's my list. So that's definitely one example. The
Mm-hmm.
Greenberg Torg researcher came to our meeting on Tuesday, and she was like, yeah, I use ChatGPT or AI.
Right.
She's a legal service.
Legal service.
Yeah.
AI,
Right.
A legal service AI. She
Right.
mentioned on Tuesday. She's like, obviously we check everything, but she's the main research person for all of Greenberg.
Right.
And I was like, oh. And she's like, yeah, we use legal AI.
Sure.
So interesting.
There was a joke in one of our family chats. My cousin is in med school in the Dominican, and the uncles were like, yeah, there was like a meme about your current doctor's learning medicine on ChatGPT, and she goes, yeah, and then she puts a picture where she was literally looking something up on ChatGPT. Like, oh wow. Yes. So
Yeah. Incredible. I mean, it used to take, or I mean, it still does for many different areas of education. 4 years to get a degree, it could literally take, I don't know, 4 minutes really to learn a lot of that stuff that you really need. I'm just saying, like, hey, figure it out. But but that's really the what's going on. I mean, my son, many times he has like the YouTube account for like kids, and he's constantly learning about so much science, and it's amazing to see how much and how quickly they learn, because in marketing, as we know, video is really one of the more engaging forms of content, and we can turn it into text, we can turn it into audio, so a podcast that's being videoed can now also actually be uploaded into Spotify with the video, which is pretty awesome. So it used to be just voice, but now podcasts, and just video itself, like if you to begin with take video, you can right away repurpose it in many different formats of content, whether it's text or audio, so you can really now reach out to the same target audience but in a much more convenient manner, because now maybe somebody can't watch a YouTube video of you while they're driving, but they can listen to it. So like the fact that you create video to begin with for your content is great. And again, there are AI tools that can create video for you as well. There is a $200 a month subscription for ChatGPT, and you can generate like real live looking video. There are YouTube channels that are being monetized now. They're called faceless YouTube channels, basically, and people are just generating AI video. And if it's engaging and it catches on, and you have it all done correctly, you can literally monetize that YouTube channel, and with 20, 30 quality videos, like you're making literally on autopilot 10,000 above a month, just with doing it right with YouTube. So it's pretty amazing, and that could not be possible even a year ago, but now with the level of technology, it's just unbelievable. So it's really at everyone's fingertips. It's I'm not anybody special here. I just made an effort to understand it a little bit more and to see how I can utilize it in my day-to-day interactions and help others around me. That's pretty much it. So ChatGPT is great for certain things, and I'll summarize that later. Fathom AI Note Taker saved me so much because, for example, if I'm on a one-on-one call, on a Zoom call, I used to be typing, and they'd be like, "What's that banging in the back?" Oh, that's just me. I'm taking notes. So now I don't have to scare anybody on the other side. This is literally there, just listening with a pencil and paper, taking out notes, summarizing. It's worth 100 something a year, but they have a free version that's incredible, and it's always on time for every Zoom meeting. Like when you get onto Zoom, as some of you may know, it's just right there, ding ding. That's the first door that opens. It's Fathom, the Fathom AI Note Taker. So they're always on time. It's sometimes me that I might be a little bit late.
And it does a great like it records it, and I like
Yes.
how it summarizes it. You can click to the part
Exactly,
that you need.
in the video.
Because I actually forgot to record our info session. Somebody had the recording,
Right.
and it automatically emailed it.
Yes.
I didn't
Yes.
even know that.
Yes.
I was like, oh, I forgot to
Right.
record our session, and then like Alex Kroll, she lives in Tennessee, but she just joined our group.
Mhm.
She sent me the video, like it was
Yeah.
automatic. I was like,
Yeah.
genius.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of it. There's also Fireflies.ai, but Fathom is what I use personally, and I found it to be excellent. And you can even have it automate so that it takes the notes of the meeting and automatically send it right into your CRM of that person, so that you have all the information of the notes that was taken. Like, think about, the things that you would anyway do. Could you imagine, like, what you can now do with that free time? You can either continue to work hard, of course, but you can also choose, while getting this done, to do other things too. So it's unbelievable when you put it to use. So yeah, it categorizes conversations. It highlights action items for you, action items for the client. It's unbelievable. Grammarly, as it sounds, the name. I'm sure we all know about Grammarly. I think that's been a lot more out there and from much earlier. So that will help you also with grammar and clarity. Perplexity AI. So Perplexity AI is actually, it started off as like ChatGPT, but it then also became a search engine, just like Google, just like ChatGPT, right? So when you're running an SEO campaign, you want to make sure that you can actually show up in Perplexity AI, ChatGPT, and all the other ones out there that are now able to help people not only search but find something customized. Meaning, if I'm looking for a lawyer that not only just does immigration but specializes in one aspect, it will actually bring it to you in a silver platter, and you'll know exactly, oh wow, these are the local law firms that actually mention that on their website. And so that's what makes redesigning your website that much more important, because the more you can be specific with what you do and highlight your unique selling proposition, your unique value proposition, and what makes you different than the other immigration law firm, you will stand out in Perplexity and ChatGPT. So, think about that and think about how you can leverage that. And the sky's the limit for sure. Notion AI is another very popular tool, and it does what it does here in organizing tasks and notes and case timelines and things like that. What I want to say is that these are a bunch of different tools, right? You can actually bring them all within one tool and replace all of these tools for a much lower cost to be able to leverage all of these tools and all of these functionalities, but at the same time, get it done just as well, if not better. And so, that's something to think about as well. How do you bring everything in one place? Because you can connect them all, but there are a lot of different pieces to the whole puzzle. If you had everything within one, dashboard, how much easier would that be, right? So always try to think about ways of, making that happen, and just being a lot more seamless in your business. So to recap, 5 different tools: ChatGPT, Fathom, Grammarly, Perplexity, Notion AI. They all have their specialties in what one can't necessarily do as the other. Perplexity helps in legal research, while ChatGPT may do that, but not necessarily with a focus. So, or depending on your subscription level, right? So that's pretty much the little summary here. And then a bonus tip. The bonus tip is nothing crazy. I didn't really need AI to tell me that. Just start with one tool. Start with one task. What can I get done and replace that? Just, it's so repetitive. It really takes up my time. When you think about it, I'll open up for questions in a minute, right? Think about what do you charge normally for your time as a lawyer, right? It can be 500 an hour, it could be 1,000 an hour, it could be 250, whatever it might be, whatever practice area you're in. If you're saving yourself a few hours, you're saving yourself quite a bit of money too, right? As far as like costs and time where you can do other things. So if nothing else, not only are you saving yourself time and charging for the same value that you're producing, but so it's value-based pricing where it really comes down to. Like, yes, you're charging for your time, but you also want to charge for your experience, your expertise, what you're getting done. It's not necessarily just about how long it took. It's about the end result of what someone's paying for, right? So have that in mind, especially in an AI world that we live in. Maybe it took you a minute. Should I charge less? No, maybe you should charge more, because you can even get done even more and better, something like that, right? So you're saving a lot in cost, and you're charging even more, or charging just the same. So think about how valuable that is, you know, for your just health wise, I think, but also monetarily, of course. So yeah, if anybody has any questions, feel free. Callwithzalmy.com is my calendar. You can just go there if you want to have a chat. I'm more than happy to chat with you and help you out.
Are you editing any of your stuff through AI?
You're talking about the posts?
No, like
or
your videos?
Everything is done with AI. Yeah, but it doesn't do it on its own. I'm making sure that I read it, own it, and take responsibility for it, so that I know that it's on point and saying exactly what I want.
No, but I mean like videos that you post on social media and stuff.
The actual videos, all videos are me. Like I'm not.
No, yeah. So we met with somebody, Ian, out of Orlando, that he actually doesn't edit. It gets edited by AI.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, someone had a client tell me, hey, well, I was telling her, yeah, I was telling her that she should definitely send me some videos when we, do social media management for her. And the videos that she sends us is something that, we can't do because we're not her. She's the founder of her company. She can only represent herself, right? So she said, look, I'm not that comfortable with video. So tell me what you think about this video. And I'm like, oh my God, you're perfect. Like, what do you mean you're not good at video? She's like, yeah, but that's my AI that did it for me. It's not really me. I was like, wow, good job. So what do you want me to tell you? I think at the end of the day, it's not about who's doing it, how it's getting done. Everyone really, it comes down to human psychology. The bottom line is everyone cares about what's in it for me, whether you did it or not, whether you want to present yourself this way or that. At the end of the day, that's where the real value is. How do we get whatever service that needs to be done for you, how do we get that done for you in the most efficient manner? And that's what people will pay for every day. That's what they do pay for. So yeah. Cool.
Anybody use AI for anything cool?
Anybody?
I actually just met an attorney I network with in Boca.
Yeah.
Complex commercial litigation, and he does absolutely everything. And I was so intrigued. We were networking, and I wanted to know about his practice. And it ended up being like AI. And he's like, "What about your secretary? AI. What about this? AI. What about your intake? AI. What about your legal research? You don't have AI. Everything."
Yep.
He's like, "If you know how to use the tools." He's like, everything.
Until it makes it a case it doesn't exist.
I mean,
Yes.
crazy.
Then you're Morgan on my Facebook.
Yeah. So
And
yeah.
well, and he used to work for big companies,
Right.
like Greenberg or whatever. He went on his own, and he's like, once you figure
Incredible.
out how to use the tools, and I was
Yeah.
a little skeptical. I was like, let me see your emotions. I don't know.
Right.
But he's like, no, if you know how to use the tools, I'm
Right.
so intrigued.
You know what's even more intriguing? It's not about once you know how to use the tools, you can have AI know how to use the tools for you, But how do you know how to do that? Ask AI. How do you know how to, I'm just saying, think about those,
Well, I will say
ideas.
that, like, I think things are getting a little bit easier to learn. Like, you
Right.
feel like, okay, so we actually created Circle, or not?
Mhm.
Okay, hold on.
We
did not create Circle.
We did not create Circle.
We actually did everything. Like, we set it up. We
Amazing.
had to like come up with each space. We had to tell the computer
Right.
like, automate messages, give people points for this, figure out like reward people for this, like those kind of automatically add people if they do this answer. Like, anyways, and I was like, there's no way I will ever be able to figure that out. And it's just like, I feel like it's just, it's easier to kind of, if you like have some, I mean, the guy was telling me you could use AI to do it. I was like, I don't know.
Sure.
Let me just try to figure it out. But there's going to be a section, which is what we're going to learn next, is how to use AI in our group. Which
Nice.
I'm not there yet.
That's cool. Yeah. Very cool.
Anybody else have anything
Nice.
else? Any other questions or cool things we're using? Imagine if Emma could have AI look at every single Facebook group and post it, the link. Like, search for any referral, and tag them.
We use AI a lot in our marketing,
Mhm.
we use it in operations. One warning, if is always check use like advanced forecasting and deep like data analysis using whatever financial metrics. Because what I wanted to do is for it to forecast, for it to have some value,
Yep.
not just for copy. Everybody's using copy. I think the internet is going to get stale. So my concern is that we're all going to get bored.
Yeah.
Everybody has an AI. This video's
True.
AI.
True.
This copy's AI. It's getting to the point that people are, when they interview, when they want a position in our firm, there's a quiz that they have to fill out before they get an interview with me. The people are responding to those quizzes using AI.
Unwaveringly support.
On what?
Unwavering support. I'm like, oh AI, right there's the word. Yeah.
So, but the problem is that if you use AI, you recognize that it's AI, right?
Correct.
We know when it's
I
AI.
would recommend it. Like you use the ChatGPT, so I was like, yeah.
Search engines are gonna start doing it too and digging
Search
you.
engines is
Right.
So you're not
Right.
gonna rank.
So my suggestion is use it, but always check it because I've had it do like data analysis for me, and you know it's off. Sometimes it invents numbers. So just use it with caution, learn it. Don't just assume it's perfect because it's not. It's a great tool. It has its functions, but definitely learn it because just like I think what you mentioned about the internet, those that didn't believe in the internet got left behind. Those that don't believe in crypto will be left behind, and those that don't use AI will be left behind. So
I think I would say that one of the biggest mistakes, and you probably know this for the last couple of years, is like they're probably top 10 marketing mistakes that people do, and one of them is personalization. So I would say it's a good start.
True.
But then personalize it.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you're like every other attorney
100%.
out there. You're not differentiating yourself.
Yeah.
Like, where's that human story? Where's that quote?
Exactly.
And another thing is that a second thing that we've seen is that a lot of our clients, like want to incorporate this and that. But when they put those little AI robots, as soon as someone hears that robotic voice or sees that you are an AI robot, you turn them off immediately. The customer satisfaction rating goes down. You turned off your client, and that's it. So you have to be very careful.
Yeah.
Did you all see that video? That judge yelled at this attorney. Oh my God, that was so
I posted
funny.
it.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Circle.
I started something else. Yeah. It was insane. So yeah, you gotta be careful. And Elizabeth will tell you that
True.
any information that you generate from AI is not, you can't protect it.
Yeah. And any post that you see that starts off by like unlock, you're like, see you later. Your AI.
We're gonna have to disclose it by law, right?
Yeah.
This is generated by AI. When you do something on Facebook, it tags you.
On Tuesday, Ashley presented in Zalmy's group. She also does marketing, but she did talk about how if you are using AI and you want to add it, you want to be careful that you have to make sure you personalize it because Google knows that you're
Exactly.
using AI.
Yes.
So it lowers you in
True.
rankings because you're using it. So
True.
anytime you are going to use it, she's like, one of the problems people have is that they're not personalizing it. So you have to make sure that you're changing it because Google's smart and they're like, oh, these people use AI.
And change it enough, like with the blogs. I was like, I'm blogging. I'm like, yeah, but
Yeah.
you're not really enhancing your
There is an AI tool to do that also to help you. I'm just letting you know. I'll leave with that. Good luck.
What was the
Yes.
example you used on Circle today?
The example.
I looked at it and then I didn't process it.
Oh yeah. I was talking about how like small steps like really lead to a big impact. So you need to just start by taking some small steps. It has a much greater impact.
Yeah, kind of like the working out.
atomic habits.
Consistency.
We'd go through one meeting with that.
Consistency over time. Yeah.
Because I work out now.
Oh, right. Just have a habit of just walking into, like I literally did that. I was having such a hard time going to the gym that I said, all right, you know what? I'll just drive to the parking lot and leave. And I'm like, oh, I'm okay with that. So that's what my good side said. So I was like, hey, Planet Fitness. And I just drove off. But eventually I started making my way in and, lifting a dumbbell. See you later. Hey. And, but that's how you do it. That's how you got to trick your mind to do it. So. Yeah. All right. Thank you. My pleasure. Appreciate it. Thanks for the big applause. All right.
So if you visited, we're going to be sending out a email. Our system will send one tomorrow in case you are interested. Trish and I are going to hang out here so you guys can enjoy your lunch and talk because apparently